Welcome back to Against the Storm. We are picking up right from where we left off. In fact, there is no way to take a break in between. We had just finished our first settlement, and now it has immediately put us into a second settlement. So let's go. Villagers with low resolve will start leaving, increasing the queen's impatience. Keeping resolve exceptionally high will grant passive reputation over time. So, sorry, I wasn't paying attention to this, but see how it turns blue? Now we get extra reputation. That's the blue bar, just a reminder. Just by having these guys be happy. This little bar is what makes them happy. Satisfying your villagers' needs with complex food, homes, and services will increase their resolve. So that's what it's showing us here, is there's all these different things that our different races like. Each species has a different mix of needs. It's hard to please everyone all of the time. That is true. Thank you, Abe Lincoln. Farmers can plant only on farm fields, and those can only be built on fertile soil. That's this right here. Crops are planted in the first season, that's the drizzle. Harvested during the second season, clearance, and if they're not harvested by the time the storm begins, you lose them. It didn't say that, but I know that. Let's build a farm, harvest grain, and serve some ale in a tavern. That is our goal for this civilization. Let's read about reputation points. We can gain reputation points in 3 different ways: by successfully completing orders, by exploring our surroundings, or by keeping our villagers happy. Orders are straightforward. We get at least 1 reputation point for completing them. And with time, our villagers will become accustomed to living conditions, and the reputation threshold will increase, forcing you to satisfy more complex needs. To acquire reputation from exploring, you'll have to cut your way through the forest to dangerous or forbidden glades and complete the glade events located there. But beware, they can be challenging. Some perks or goods bought from traders can also increase our reputation. So there's tons of information in the game that you can consume kind of at your own pace. They're starting us out, again, because the whole thing is scripted, with a small farm. So it wants us to build a small farm. Before we do that, actually, it wants us to build a small farm. Let's go ahead and do that. Where was that? Food. Small farm. Now you'll notice, same idea as the green thing in the prior settlement, except instead it has a white box around the fields it can harvest, or somebody working there can harvest. So we're going to put this down, even though we're going to put it over some fertile fields or fertile soil. But this will let us get a lot of stuff. Then we go here and we make these farm fields. And of course we can just marquee select here and it will do that for us. So let's go ahead and hit play. Here are guys bringing the wood, or actually I guess we start with planks because this thing takes planks to build. Yeah, 2 planks. And we can get vegetables and grain out of it. And there's a bit of a balancing act you need to engage in, where you want to make sure your... Oh yes, we can put our humans here, so they get this specialization. So farming proficiency, so 10% doubling yield. So there's a bit of a balancing act, and I'm sure it would tell us, and will tell us, that you want to get all your fields sown in the drizzle and then harvested in the clearance. Otherwise, you lose opportunity. I can't help myself, so we're going to go ahead and put a path around this whole thing, like I always do. I really like the way it looks, and there is in fact a practical benefit in that the guys do move a little bit faster, and especially when you've got traffic going to your warehouse, that's useful, and certainly to your park. We have new orders, and our orders are ready. Oh my gosh, we did it without even them asking. So we had the orders to put down a small farm and to create 6 farm fields. We did 17. We got 2 humans and 20 barrels, and of course, reputation with the queen. Now, we need to put down a woodcutter's camp, actually 2 of them, and 2 shelters, which of course we'll do. And we'll get parts, stone, and a couple beavers. So let's go ahead and do that. We should get, yes, we get shelter. You always start with the woodcutter's camp, by the way. So we're going to put down a couple shelters. In fact, I really do like to put down enough shelters for all of our people. So I'm going to go ahead and, oops, I'm going to go ahead and click in the wrong spot. And even though we only need to do 2, I'm going to put down a bunch. I really believe you can just jam them in like this, which is a little bit silly, but That's how we're going to roll. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 is more people than we have. We will certainly get more people. Oh, look, we got a cornerstone. Barrel delivery line. 5 barrels per minute. Not affected by production bonuses and does not contribute to production-based perks. You'll see what it's talking about there with production-based perks. We'll get to that. I'll point it out when we get there. Or 50% to amount of goods produced in the small farm. I'm going to go for the barrel delivery line. Again, I don't think it matters. Both of them are very good. And it wants us to put down 2 woodcutters camps, so let's do that. We are presumably going to have to... Oh, look, there's more fertile soil there, I think. We're going to have to cut into some glades at some point. So let's at least make that possible. They'll cut this stuff down. In fact, let's do our second one there. And I'm going to mark... Oh, we can't... I tried to mark, but I can't. We don't have a woodcutter's camp yet. Okay, sped it up a little. Oh, and by the way, so besides being able to always go look at the orders, you can always get to... Oh, I'm not getting into recipes yet. There are all different ways to basically dress up the spreadsheet that is this game. And there's tons of information, and you can control the different recipes, and that's the thing I clicked on. And all of that stuff will be shown to us, maybe. Oh, and by the way, you'll notice that I have the default option, as I showed you before, global option, to avoid glades. You can change these options for individual camps. Let's go ahead and put 2 beavers in here, and a beaver in here, and then, you know what, let's put a human here. So we've now got 4 woodcutters, and we still have 4 workers. Oh, and we definitely want these houses to be built. Because we have 8 homeless people. See that? And that makes them less happy. We should see one of the houses getting built in a second. Although we might be out of wood. Yeah, no, you can see them dragging the resources there. These guys are sowing the fields. Despite the fact that they have shells on their backs, these are actually humans. That protects them from the rain. Should be finishing a shelter any second now. And there it is. So now we can deliver, and we're going to get those items. In fact, let's see what our next orders are. Our next orders are... We want to build a small trappers camp, and we need to have 5 meat in the small trappers camps, and we're going to get some of those resources we saw in the crude workstation. So that's excellent. Let's get that blueprint. Small trappers camp. They can get meat, insects, and eggs. So we should have... Yes, there's meat right there. I don't see anything else. Yes. Okay, let's throw down this trappers camp. And we might as well put a path to it, even though it doesn't matter that much. Oops. I think the entrance was there, right? Yeah. And these are shells, by the way. Slick shell broodmother shells. What is that? Oh, yeah, these are... Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, those are the different camps that can harvest them. Pick up the pace again. We still have 1 homeless person. Now we don't, because we finished these houses. And we now have extra shelter available. So we now have 2 plus 3. Why does it say 2 plus 3? Oh, because we're building one. It's going to say 5 in a second. No? I don't know. I don't know why that said 2 plus 3. Okay, let's assign... You'll notice the lizards... Go back to speed 1. The lizards have the specialization bonus. So they increase meat production. 10% chance of doubling their yield. Plus these guys are happier doing this stuff, which is kind of neat. You can see... Where is that? It is in here. Current resolve, future resolve. There's something... I don't know. It'll tell us. There's something about that. Oh, what's happening here? These things are idling. These guys are idling because they have sown all the fields, and so it's letting us know there are people idle here. But that's because they sowed all the fields in the drizzle, and the clearance is about to come, so then they're going to start harvesting. Watch the fields as I hit play. Oh, it paused because we switched into the clearance. Here we go. Look, everything bloomed instantly as soon as the clearance started. We also got newcomers. Who do we want? Beaver? Oh, so this gives us some leather, which we don't have a way of getting right now. But it gives us 3 people, which we might want. This gives us additional resources. Or more resources than this. I think we go for more people. And let's see if we can build a crude workstation. We can. So why don't we put one of those down? You always start with one of these. I had forgotten about that because it was the tutorial. So once this is built, we'll put... we'll staff it with humans. And we're still waiting for you guys to get meat, please. Where are you? Right here. Are you working on this? There we go. Okay. We got 1, 2. I'm looking up here. So we should be collecting barrels for nothing, and that's going to be good because it told us that one of our goals was to surveil in a tavern, I think it was. You can see they are harvesting our fields, and they absolutely have to finish or the stuff will be lost. To 3 now. Or 1 more, and then we have our orders. Maybe this was... Yeah, okay, so 2 free space and shelters. Yeah, so it was with the little thing before, it was that we still had some shelter under construction. 1 more meat. There it is. Nope, there's not. There we go. Now we can deliver. I'm going to deliver from here, just because I want to see what the next ones are. Now it wants us to build a smokehouse to produce jerky, pottery, and incense. We're not going to worry about rain engines right now. And it wants us to enable meat in the jerky recipe, just like the enable fabric in the thing at the end of the last episode in the dangerous glade. And then we want to produce 20 jerky. So we need to build a smokehouse. Oh, I didn't take the blueprint. Here it is, smokehouse. That goes in here because it's food related. Oh, this guy is big, huh? And it also takes... Oh, we have stuff in the way. My roads are biting us in the butt. So are my houses. And... Okay, what we'll do is move some of these houses. So we're going to click here. We're going to move it. We can just put it as far back as it'll let us. Now we can build our smokehouse. With the entrance right here on the road. And we're going to want to assign lizards, see? Yeah. Now, how many lizards do we have total? 4. So all of them are in use because 2 of them are collecting steak for us, or beef for us, or meat. I guess it's meat. And generic meat like Spam. And 1 of them is in here increasing resolve. But that's okay. Then we'll assign a human and a beaver, and that'll be fine. We can turn off pottery, we can turn off incense. It wants us to change this to meat, so we should have that checked off. And this also... No, that's fine with wood. So we did that. Enable meat in the jerky recipe. And now it just needs to build 20 jerky in the smokehouse. Let's go ahead and speed up. Up here times 2. Could make another farm, but I don't think we need to. We have a good amount of food. We have just entered... Oh, yeah. No. It's telling us with the thunder that the storm is coming. We have 30 seconds. I almost said half a minute, which is a weird way to say 30 seconds. So the smokehouse, you can see, produces 10 at a time. So we're going to hit this as soon as these guys finish. We're actually going to have more than we need. And now it paused because we are in the storm. So I think it's going to tell us this in a moment, but I'm going to let you know. This is our hostility level. So you're fighting against the forest, and it gets more and more angry the longer you occupy the forest and the more villagers you have. And you can see that the hostility is all calculated there. All right, so the longer you're in the forest, the more hostility, just years times 10. The number of villagers you have times 2. The number of dangerous glades that we've opened, and the number and if we have hearths, that reduces hostility. And the more impatient the queen is, the less hostile the forest is, which is weird. So once we get to 100, it'll have a hostility of 1. That's what this 0 is here. When we're in the storm, all of the things that show up along this bar can go into effect. This one doesn't go into effect until you have hostility 1, so we would need 100 there, 100 points of hostility. And this thing would be bad. Its homeless villagers have a 10% chance of dying every 60 seconds in the storm. But it also lets us know that nobody would be affected because everybody's housed right now. But that doesn't matter for us anyway because we're not even near hostility 1. We are, however, at hostility 0, which reduces everybody's, or gives us looming darkness, which reduces everybody's resolve by 4. And I can click here and it'll tell us all of this stuff. And we're not going to worry about it because I'm explaining it to you anyway. So let's apply it. And it lets me know that I played for an hour so I can get up and walk around. Yes, I know this episode is not an hour because I split the tutorial up into 2. So these guys are... I don't know what they're doing, actually. Maybe you can prep the fields in the storm? Like fertilize them somehow? Our orders are ready, so let's deliver them. But I'm going to go in here so we can see what's next. We did all the things we needed. And we're going to get a builder's pack, which means our builders can carry 5 more items to wherever they are constructing something. So in fact, if you think back to last episode with the dangerous glade, the reason the curse was able to affect us was because our guys had to make 2 trips to bring the resources. If they had had this, they would have been able to do it all in 1 trip, and we might not have lost some of our villagers. We're going to get 20 barrels, and now we get +1 to meat production. And our new objective is construct a brewery, change the ingredient from pottery to barrels in the ale recipe, all simple stuff obviously, and then produce 20 ale. And then we're going to get mushrooms, more barrels, and some planks. So let's go ahead and build. Oh, we need to get the brewery. It can produce ale, porridge, and crops. We're going to go ahead and build one of these. I think these are big too. Yes, they are. Let me do the same thing I did before. I'm going to move this woodcutter's camp back here, and we can put in that brewery. And it'll probably tell us this, but the brewery can also offer entertainment or services for our people. It paused because we switched into the drizzle, and you're going to see our people sowing these fields. We also have a cornerstone. I don't know if you get a cornerstone every year, but maybe. Efficient brewing, plus 50% to amount of goods produced in the brewery. So that's when we're producing the ale. Or grain bags. Specialized grain farming technique. Grain production increases by +1 every 25 items produced. So this is the thing when we saw before on the barrel thing. It says, does not contribute to production-based perks. So that is one of our choices. This is a production-based perk. So every 25 grain we produce, it increases the production by 1. And this thing, if we had this for barrels, this thing would actually make that super easy, super trivial. So these don't count for those kind of perks. I'm going to do efficient brewing. Again, I don't really have a good reason for that. Food. Your villagers need to eat in order to survive. Every few minutes, they'll go on break and gather around the hearth, which I had talked about before. And they try to get something edible from the warehouse. If nothing they like is available, like pickled goods for beavers, for example, those are specialized complex good, they'll eat raw food. If there's no food whatsoever, they get hunger effect, and that makes them unhappy. And it makes their resolve go down. And if the resolve of a species reaches 0, they're going to start leaving. And they can only withstand a certain number of hunger stacks before they start dying of starvation. So you really have to be careful about that. Speaking of settlers, we have new ones available. So what do we want? I wouldn't mind having more lizards because we needed them for making beef jerky. So let's go ahead and do that. Although this is only 3 guys. Could we use 4? Do we need more humans? We have veg, but no copper. Forget it. Let's do this. And that allows us to assign you here. We're going to let this lady finish. And then we'll assign... Wait a minute, what? Oh, yeah. Actually, let's make this more clear. We're going to turn off shrimp or insects, whatever those are. insects, I think. When this lady is done, we'll switch her out for a lizard. This is our brewery. So the humans get a brewing bonus. They get +5 to the resolve, so it makes them happier to be in there. But they're idle. Now, why are they idle? Because they don't have the things they need to complete their recipes. So we wanted us to switch to barrels. That's what we're going to use. That should make them not idle, because we should have enough grain. We do have 30 grain, so it's not going to be a ton. I don't care about porridge. I don't think they'll make it anyway. And I don't care about packs of crops. We probably don't have to turn it off, that means. But we did it anyway. Now, we need to go to the smokehouse. Oh, you're already brewing? Forget it. Or making beef jerky? That's fine. We want the food. We are now just waiting for our brewery. This is our warehouse. We're waiting for our brewery, which for some reason I'm having a hard time saying. That's the smokehouse. Where's our damn brewery? Here it is. We're waiting for them to produce enough ale. Wait a minute. Oh. Let's turn off pottery so it's more clear, but it would use either in that case. Yeah, we don't have roots. I thought we were harvesting roots somewhere. You know what? Let's use roots if we've got them. And you can see here that it's showing us that 2 things are selected, so that you know that more than just that the grain is selected there. Orders are ready. So we accomplished that. Let's go in here so we can see our next orders. We got mushrooms. We got more barrels. We now have a ton. And we got a box of planks. We have a ton of barrels because of this 5 per turn thing. Now we need to build a tavern, which is a place where villagers can fulfill their need for leisure, luxury, and we can also have Gleeman's Tales. You'll see that in a second. And then we need to fulfill our villagers' need for leisure 20 times. And then we get 2 new beavers, some tools, which are used for a whole bunch of things, and a bunch more barrels. So let's get that blueprint and build tavern. You notice there were other things in there, but we're not going to worry about it for now. And I think the tavern is... Oh, yeah, that was a bad spot for the tavern, honestly. I think the tavern, though, you don't need to have a road to it, or people need to get to the entrance. I think it'll be okay. Services. Villagers fulfill their most basic needs, such as food or clothing at the hearth, and need only the right goods to do so. However, there's a separate category of needs that require not only resources, but also a special type of building to fulfill them. Those are called services. Services include things like luxury, leisure, religion, and so forth, and I'll let you again pause and read this if you want. But key thing to recognize, let's go back to speed 1. You'll notice that it showed us this at the beginning of this episode, that each of the different races has different things they want. So these guys want human housing, they want porridge, which we can make at the brewery, I think it was. They want biscuits, which we don't know how to make. And then this gives us other effects, just sort of that they get as ancillary things. They also like pie, which we can't make yet. They like to wear coats. That gives them a resolve bonus. Their services that they like are leisure, so they can get that from the tavern that we built. And these guys are a fan of religion, so they have 2 different services. Each of the races has different things like that, so obviously they have their custom housing. These guys also like biscuits, whereas these guys do not. These guys like pickled goods. None of the rest of these guys do. They like luxury and ale, or leisure, excuse me, for their services, and education. These guys like, coats or clothing. I don't know what that's about. These guys don't wear clothes. They're beavers. No, they do. Coats. I don't know. I guess these guys have more service needs. And then it's the same thing. These guys like the jerky, but they also like... they like jerky. They'll eat the raw meat. And then they like boots. So each thing... Oh, and look at this. These guys are already happy. So they're going to be giving us additional resolve. See that 0.08 reputation per minute, which doesn't seem like a lot, but the longer they stay happy and the happier they are, the more extra reputation we're going to get, and that can make a big difference. So we might actually get a whole extra point if we keep them happy enough. And they should be, oh, by the way, one of the reasons they're probably happy, one's homeless, that's no good, is because they're getting jerky, so that gives them additional resolve. Let's make more houses. Yeah, we have 1 homeless, and it happens to be a lizard, which is no good. We're going to make room for 6 more people. Yeah, that should be fine. Let's hit play. This is the tavern, so we need to put some people here. So humans get the tavern bonus. They get +5 to their resolve for working here. Let's go ahead. We're going to run out of guys, but I'm going to put them in the tavern here. The reason I'm going to fully occupy the tavern is because if you have 3 people here, then you get the Gleeman's Tales. So every evening, a Gleeman tells stories about past glories and times before this Great Civil War. So everybody gets +3 resolve, which will help everybody be happier. And what we'll do is we will instead, since we have no workers, we're going to take some people out of somewhere else. So let's... oh, the other thing is I'm holding Alt so you can see who's in what building, and you can see the blue ones have specialization in that building. So we're going to go ahead and take that beaver out of there. Wait, no, sorry. We want the beaver in the tavern. We want to take the... Let's take this human out of this. Okay, let's go in here. Oh, you're doing something? Forget it. We're going to take you out. And we want another human. Let's go to our crude workstation and see what you can do. We're just going to take you out. We're going to put you in the tavern. And you in the tavern. So now everybody on the human side becomes happier, and we get the Gleeman's Tale, so everybody continues to be happy. And you'll notice before when I showed you, was it luxury here? No, I think it was the beavers, huh? The beavers like luxury. So you'll notice that the tavern is great for the beavers because they like leisure and they like luxury. And the tavern produces both of those things. So if you're doing a beaver-heavy settlement, that can be really beneficial. Now, we only have 2 workers. I'd love to get our other things built faster. I guess they're being built. Should be okay. So this guy's not going to be homeless anymore once that house is finished. Wait, do we have specialized homes? We do not. Oh, we have more newcomers. So, what do we want? 1 of each race, or 3 beavers and a human. I say we go for the beavers, even though I wouldn't mind the stone. So now we have 2 homeless people, but that's going to go away in a moment when we build this house, but we're going to need to schedule more housing. You'll notice I can't, if I put it here, it's not going to be inside the yellow, so that's bad, because then it won't count as housing. So we will, oh, can we Tetris it up? Hold on. We can, that's so silly. Low on fuel. Oh, okay. So what it's telling us is we don't have enough wood to put in the fire. We're very low on wood. So we want to tell our woodcutters to start chopping. In fact, let's go, to this woodcutters camp and assign beavers. And we're going to move this woodcutters camp over here, and we're going to go crazy with the cutting. I am going to hold control, though, so that it doesn't cut into glades. And just as a reminder, it will never cut those things. You guys, we're going to cut into... Actually, you know what we're going to do? Let's go ahead and mark this glade for cutting as well. So we're going to open that glade in a moment. We don't need to be super cautious. So low on fuel. Let's take a look. Fuel. Yeah, we only have 3 wood because we used it all and we weren't cutting enough. But that should get remedied soon. It would be pretty lame to lose in the tutorial. But there is no game so easy that I can't screw it up. Look at this. Small abandoned cache. An abandoned cache of goods. This could be a lost shipment or something much more valuable. So we can send it to the Citadel using these tools, which are, in my experience, hard to come by, and that will give us reputation and some money. Or we can use stone, which we do have enough of, to get a box of boots, which I believe beavers like. So this will help them with their resolve, which will help us. So let's go ahead and do that. And then insects. Yes, let's do. So we're going to assign some workers. We're going to choose this reward and we're going to investigate. Are we building anything right now? We are building houses and we only have 1 worker. So that's not great. By the way, we can also see that there are root nodes here that we can get roots out of if we wanted. We're going to need to come up with some people, huh? Maybe I take somebody out of... No, let's just hit play. We might take somebody out of one of the woodcutter camps, but first we need to build up our wood. And we're at 17 of 20 of our leisure. Is this the tavern? Yes, it is. These guys are doing their thing. You're on break. Still low on fuel, but we're getting it. It was at 3, now we're at 13. We've averaged 38. That's interesting. We did it. 20 leisure filled. Let's go to our orders. We'll deliver that. We're going to get a couple more beavers even. Now, we need to keep the human resolve above 25 for 30 seconds. Well, look at this. They're already at 33. And in fact, this is one of the cool things about this game. We just got this order, but we already accomplished it. So we had kept their resolve above 25 for 30 seconds already, so we get to just deliver it. Now, I'm not going to deliver it just yet because I think it's going to push us very, very close to winning. Actually, screw it. Let's go for it. So we're very close to winning, and now we have 2 blueprints. And what it wants us to do is deliver 10 packs of provisions. So these are sort of general purpose provisions. They're used to fulfill orders in trade and pay for trade routes. So it would be produced in the provisioner, the cellar, or the makeshift post. And I think we're going to get one of those recipes or one of those blueprints in just a minute. So that's our order. But if we go here, we can pick what we want. Now, I don't think it's going to matter for us because we're about to win. So we'll just pick the lizard one. And the makeshift post, this is what can produce the provisions for us. So we're going to take that, and then it wants us to deliver 10 packs of provisions. I don't think it's even going to be necessary because we're getting plus 26 per minute. So if I just faff about for another minute, we're already going to get it. But what we would do is, well, we can also build lizard houses. What we would do is we would build the makeshift post. You'll notice those little white lines, by the way. That is, in fact, that's something I sort of skipped over when I said, hey, you can read for yourself. What that is it's telling you where it will get resources from. So normally everything can get it from the warehouse, but if you're close to another facility that produces that item, that resource, then it will just get it directly from there, and it's a little bit faster. So we're going to turn off provisions. I'm sorry, we're going to turn off crops and building materials, and we're going to tell it you can build or you can make provisions out of anything. And it didn't matter because we spent another minute, we got the extra resolve, and so we won. So we leveled up because you get experience each time, so this means we leveled up, so we get new stuff, new blueprints, new meta currency, upgrades to our citadel, which is the city that we're about to go to. We get flame amulets, we get flame amulets and rich glades as possible cornerstones that could come up. The flame amulets is hostility from woodcutters is decreased by 4. Right, because the forest gets angry the more woodcutters you had. I don't think that was showing up when I was showing you hostility before, but oh my god, is it a pain. Newly discovered gathering nodes have more charges because we can wear out the resources. So that's great. It means our camps are more effective. And we got more of the food stockpiles meta currency and several blueprints. Well, we had these already. Small fishing hut we didn't have, but that's because we saw these in the tutorial. They gave it to us. And here we go. So after you finish those, there's our 2 towns. The world is a vast, ever-changing place, and at its heart lies the Smoldering City. Enter the Smoldering City and use the resources you've gathered so far to buy the Obsidian Archive level 1 upgrade. So let's go ahead and do that. So we enter the Smoldering City. This is where essentially you do your upgrading in what is a tech tree. So we'll do buy upgrades. By the way, a lot more other stuff happens, so you can pass deeds, which we're going to get to in a minute. Actually, we're going to unlock it in a second. You also get a home. See, you'll get your own place in the Smoldering City by completing the first steps deed. So there's just more and more stuff that gets unlocked. It's a real nice dopamine hit. This is the Obsidian Archive. You can see we got food stockpiles, but there's also machinery and artifacts as meta currency. All these lower leveled ones require food stockpiles, but you can see this one now requires the, machinery, right? And then up here will be the artifact stuff. So you can see there's a fairly significant tech tree, and you can kind of fill it out the way you want. It's a tech tree only in the sense that other games have tech trees. It's less tech and more, well, some of it's tech, and more just kind of additional benefits or additional opportunities. So we are going to unlock Obsidian Archive level 1, so we gain a permanent minus 2% to the speed at which the Queen's Impatient grows, which we haven't even seen that yet. So it also gives us the Obsidian Archive, a place where records about great viceroys are kept. It unlocks deeds, which we're going to see in a second. So now we do have enough to upgrade something else, but let's first look at the deeds that just got unlocked. So the idea is you can do various different things in the game and you get rewards for it. Sometimes, like in this case, we get our home, first steps. In this case, if we discover 10 glades across however many games we play, we get 50 experience so we can level up. There's a bunch of different choices that you get for kind of just playing the game. You know, complete 10 orders, discover 10 glades, you just get new stuff. And it just unlocks it for us. And some of it's cosmetic, some of it actually has a game effect, some of it is an achievement in Steam. So we also have 10 more of our food stockpiles. So our choices are Monastery of the Vigilant Flame level 1. So we gain a permanent 2% reduction to fuel consumption in the hearth, which we did see we were getting low, right, on fuel in that last tutorial, but that's because I was lame. When you go out to set up your settlement, you have a choice. That's called embarking, and you have a choice on some of the resources you can bring. So this gives us a few more choices, clay and stone. So we don't need to go find them before we can use them. This gives us another 2% reduction in the speed at which the Queen's Impatience grows, and it enables advanced controls for what is being consumed in our settlement and by whom. So this allows us to control like who eats what and who uses which resources, which is major for micro, if that's what you want to do. So we're going to go ahead and unlock that, and that is all of our meta currency. And so with that, we have kind of one more thing that's going to be tutorialized, but we're going to put that in the next episode. So thank you, as always, for your support. If you watched the Born to be Wild week stream, this is where we left off. So episode 3 will be picking up from where we left off after the stream. Thank you so much for your support. I love you very much. Please remember to have your pet spayed or neutered.